Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman & Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law issues. Please subscribe to our channel. I want to talk today about a process of doing a divorce yourself. Can you do a divorce yourself? I think in some cases you probably can. There are certain areas of the law for which the court does not permit self-representation, but divorce is not one of them. So technically, you could represent yourself. You could get the papers, you could fill them out. You have to understand certain things though. When you do this, there are certain designations that the court requires in its filing of its paperwork in order for the court clerk to channel it in the right way. So let me give you an example. If you have no children, the court gives the life cycle of the case a shorter life cycle than if you have children. The court gives more time because there are more things that go on when there's a divorce with children. The friend of the court is involved. There have to be determinations with custody, parenting time, child support, all of these things that you don't have when there's no children. So therefore, when you file your case, you've got to designate it as a case with or without children. How do you do that? There's a sort of a suffix that's put on all papers. There's a case number that you'll get, but when you file your papers, before they designate a case number and stamp it, you've got to put the appropriate suffix. The suffix is DM, which is a divorce with children, or DO, a divorce with no children. If you were to write DO and you have children in your case, you will be in the Bermuda Triangle of the clerk's office because they will spit your papers back, they will say it's no good, they will catch on 3 months down the road and make you start all over again, all these crazy things, all because you got the wrong suffix. So let me tell you as a piece of advice, number one, you got to appropriately designate your case. Number two, you got to realize that you may or may not need a divorce depending on your situation. When I say divorce, I mean that there's a legal marriage that precedes it. So if you're living with someone and you never had the benefit of marriage because you never actually had a ceremony, even if you're living with them and your property and your children and all that, that's not a divorce. Because in Michigan, living with someone doesn't count for the purposes of marriage and therefore for the purposes of divorce. So you always have to ask yourself, do I need a divorce in the first place? You got to look at your life situation and make that determination. There's another issue. If you've had children, and it might be a DM, but the children are now grown and they're above the age of majority, even though you had children, that case is not going to be a DM case because the court isn't going to need to decide anything about those kids. They're adults. That gets designated as a DO case. The point is, you've got to be careful about all of these things. There's another issue that people, when they do divorces themselves, you got to realize there are certain things that have to be in there if you're going to allege opportunity to get those things. For example, let's say somebody wants to get alimony or what we call spousal support. You are obligated to put appropriate provisions in your complaint for divorce seeking the alimony. If you fail to do so, you may be barred from ever getting it, even though you otherwise deserve it. So here's my point. You can do these things yourself. There are pitfalls associated with doing it yourself, though, so you got to be very, very careful. I'll tell you what. If you want to do it yourself, let me make a suggestion. Put it together based on your forms or whatever you got. Send them to us at no cost. We'll take a look at it. Another set of eyes. We'll make sure at least you got the right, things alleged. You've got the right suffix. You've got the right court that you're supposed to send it to. There are rules about that too. So I'd like to suggest that if you're going to do this yourself, let's not screw it up so badly that it's not retrievable and not salvageable. Send it to us at no cost. We'll take a look at it and we'll at least be able to give you guidance if you're going down the right direction. I think if you do that, you'll save yourself a lot of aggravation in the long run. If you have any questions, reach out. We'll be glad to help you out.